I've generated $23 million across 10,000 hours of my experience in sales. I've sold door to door, I've sold cars, I've sold software as a service, I've sold enterprise and high ticket. I've been a setter, been an SDR, been a closer, a team lead, directors of sales, and I've actually built my own sales business from zero up to over $100,000 per month. And in that time, I've built insanely efficient and killer sales teams. And I've also developed a super high level skill set and picked up on advanced techniques that I'm about to share with you. If you watch through to the end of this video, you're literally going to be saving yourself years of time that I've spent in the trenches of sales, and you will mentally download things that I wish I knew years ago. I'll be showing you things like the exact same mindset that allowed me to crack $100,000 per month, how I effortlessly move around objections, navigate sales conversations, how I frame and close 5, 6, and 7-figure deals. If you've already got sales or business experience, you're still going to want to pay attention. There is one thing that you need to always keep at the forefront of your mind in your sales career. That's the mindset that you carry. This is going to be the difference between a veteran and a beginner salesman or business person going into every single deal, every single conversation. And it's going to be the difference between a 15% close rate and a 30 or 40% close rate. And mindset actually is the most important thing in sales, because with sales, you have your ebbs and flows. You have your good days, you have your bad days, you have your high months, you have your low months. You have a lot of people saying yes, you have a lot of people saying no. People hang up on you, people ghost you, people say they're going to do something and never do it. You have to be mentally tough to be able to be successful in sales, because in my experience and why I have gotten to where I've gotten is because I've just been doing it consistently and getting better over time. And I don't really zoom in too much, and I really zoom out and understand that as long as I do my activity, as long as I show up present and confident on my sales calls, I'm continually learning and refining my craft. The results are going to be a byproduct of me doing the inputs. Understanding that Rome wasn't built in a day and every single thing that you do is not going to bear fruit, but you understand that the more you do at a prolonged period of time with delayed gratification, it's going to be a really, really successful and fruitful career, whether this is sales or business. In the mindset section of what I'm going to be talking about today, there's really 4 core principles I'm going to be talking about. And the number one thing is going to be rejection. And a lot of people think that a no and a yes is on opposite ends of the spectrum. Now, what I submit to you is they're really like this. This is the start of the conversation or the cold call. And a lot of people think that a no is the opposite of a yes, where a no is really just what's said before a yes. So no is when you actually are able to start selling. Absolute worst thing in sales or in business is someone says, hey, follow up with me in a couple of months. That's the worst. That's purgatory. That's the person that's like, yeah, follow up with me, next quarter. You set a task, you follow up with the person like, oh yeah, sorry, I totally forgot about your existence. Follow up with me in another month. So understanding that no isn't some scary thing, and it's actually a positive indicator that there's something that you need to overcome, right? Because people say no for the same reasons that they say yes, which is going to be trust and information/knowledge. Now, people say no because they lack trust in who you are or what you do, or trusting that what you say is actually going to happen. And they lack the information or the knowledge to be able to make a confident decision. So it's just easier to say no. You can easily turn a no into a yes if you answer these things. So if they do trust you, they do trust that the things that you do are going to work for their business, they're going to go to a yes. If they have a lot of information and knowledge on what you do, how you do it, and why it works, now that same thing that's giving you a no is actually going to turn into a yes, right? Instead of running for the hills when someone says no, or you're like down on your luck, like, oh my God, I'm so bad at this, I keep hearing no, it's actually a good thing. And the better relationship you have with no, the better you're going to be at sales. And this kind of goes into the next thing that I'm talking about here, which is long-term thinking. Understand that sales is the long game. And what I'm going to show you today is something that changed my life forever. I call it the hockey stick. Let's say we have this, right? So a hockey stick is like this. Now you have 2 other hockey sticks, right? You have the faster hockey stick and you have the slower hockey stick. Let's just say, and this is for sales specifically, right? Or actually anything in life. So let's just take cold calls. If your KPI is 100 dials a day, now there's going to be people that don't hit that. And let's say they average 85, right? It's just 15 less. But what if you do 15 more? This is where the hockey stick is really interesting. So if we think of this on a 1-month timeline, there's about 22 selling days per month, right? So this person is going to make an average of 2,200 dials. this person is going to make this number, and the third person is going to be at 25.30. So what do these numbers mean? Why is this important, Dylan? Great question. Everything is time. This person here is going to create 3.5 days, right? Because they're doing 330 more dials a month. They're creating time. This person is going to work 25 days compared to this person doing 22, and this person is going to do 19 days. So who wins? It's simple. This person does more, they create more outcomes, and they stack the odds in their favor. This guy is going to get outworked by 6 days. And this is something and a principle that you can apply to everything in your life, right? The gym, your diet, business, sales, whatever it is, dating, doesn't matter. I always ask myself, what am I not doing that I could be doing at 115%? What am I doing at 100%, 85, or God forbid, even less than that? Let's just say for this is a YouTube video, right? If someone makes one YouTube video a month and I make 4, I'm literally 4xing my opportunity to see a positive result. Now, the person who does 8 videos a month, 2 per week, they're doubling my output. It's a simple inputs and outputs game. And understanding that sales is a long game. Understand that if I do this for a year, think about how much time that you're creating. If you're creating 3.3 days per month, you're literally creating 39 more days. You're having over 13 months condensed into 1 year where this guy is. And the other guy is even way behind. So understanding that, yeah, maybe this guy is booking a bunch of calls on 85 dials and I'm booking less calls with 115 dials. I know over a long enough time horizon, because I get better with every single rep, I'm going to destroy my competition. I'm going to be the #1 salesperson. My business is going to grow at a predictable rate. So I would draw this and I would think to myself, what am I doing at 115? What am I doing at 100? What am I doing at 85? And how can I increase an 85 to 100? How can I increase 100 to 115? You don't have to stop at 115. You could do 125. You could do 200. You could do 300%. But just understanding the hockey stick is a principle of life and implement it into your life. Now, the next thing here, a lot of people think that sales is evil. Just get that out of your head. It's just bullshit. Sales makes the world go round. Every single dollar in circulation is attributed to somebody selling someone something. I bought this computer and this whole setup with money that I sold people a service or a product. When I bought this MacBook and these monitors here, Apple is now reinvesting, or people buying their stock, or they're buying or paying their employees, and those employees are taking that average salary and they're buying cars and they're buying mattresses and apartments and houses and all these different things. Every single dollar that you have in your wallet or in your bank account is because it's in circulation, because somebody sold someone something. That doesn't sound evil to me. If you think sales is evil, it's never going to work for you, right? If you think that taking money from people, first off, you're not taking money, you're earning that money by providing a product or a service. It's not like you're stealing. So that leads me into my next point here, which is you're not selling, right? You're solving problems. And the bigger the problems that you solve for the more wealthy or high net worth person or business, the more money you're going to make. If you can solve a multi-million-dollar problem, you're going to earn hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you're solving a $100 problem, you're going to make $10. But understanding that this ties into the sales is not evil, right? Because you're solving problems. If you're selling or you're working on an offer that helps people stop drinking or abusing substances, do you not think that charging that person money to impact their life, extending their life, getting them back on track, helping them make money, helping them be a functioning person of society, is that not value? Is that not something that's a noble pursuit? Let's think of it this way, right? Let's just take my own business. So I sell to a B2B agency owner that helps chiropractors. So I help a B2B business build their sales team and help bring their product and service to a larger marketplace to help more chiropractors. So this person, since I've helped them and I took their money, I gainfully earned their money, this B2B business now helps more chiropractors. Now, let's just say they help chiropractors get more patients. So now this B2B business, because I sold them something and I produced value, which grew their business, which helps chiropractors grow their business, now they're going to help their patients. Now think about how valuable alleviating back pain or debilitating spinal problems, right? Now these patients is going to be the fourth web, and then they're going to to be happier people. They're going to be better moms, better dads, better employees, earn more money, do the things that they love, and be more joyful. So by me selling something to somebody who's able to bring their service to another marketplace, which is going to help another service provider provide more value in the marketplace, how much value are you creating? Massive amounts of value to people that you don't even know, right? That's the beautiful thing about sales. And that's going to help you determine your why. It's a lot easier to cold call someone if you know and you can stand behind the product and service that you're selling. And you know your why. You're going to do more activity. You're going to talk to more people because you believe. You're going to have more confidence. You're going to have more conviction in what you're saying. And when you hear an objection, you're going to know it's not real. And you're going to be able to move towards that no into a yes because you are so passionate about what you're doing. I wake up every day blessed and grateful and excited to reach out to people, to email people, to cold call people, to create content and video like this. Because if you watch this video and you go through this whole video and you take notes and you become better at sales, you can then sell your product to a person or a business that can then sell their product or service or become more efficient or hire more people or provide more jobs. Like, really think about the positive impact that you have being a salesperson or a business owner. Like, truly, really think about this. And it's going to help you really define, why the hell am I doing what I'm doing? Now, again, keeping all those things top of mind, investing in yourself, building up your mindset early is one of the biggest ROI things you can do as a salesperson or a business person. Now, eventually, you're going to become so resilient that'll be second nature to you. But if you're a beginner, you still have work to do. And if you're now trying to actually get appointments, get calls booked in the calendar in the first place, there are a few ways of going about it. One is typically much harder than the other, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean from my 12 years of experience. In this section, we're going to talk about prospecting and getting appointments booked. There's a couple of different forms of prospect. We're going to talk about warm, cold, qualifying. I think I spelled that completely wrong. Don't get on me in the comments. And we're also going to talk about tech. So let's talk about what everyone loves to optimize for, which is warm leads. Now, the skill sets for warm leads are going to be the same for cold leads. And your ability to qualify and identify who you're trying to sell or market to is going to help all of these things. It's going to raise your floor. Warm leads can really only come from three options. So it's paid, organic, and referrals. Paid is going to be ads, right? Organic is going to be content, SEO. Referrals is going to be from customers and as well as partners. So with paid advertising, you're going to drive attention to some type of lead capture, whether that is an email newsletter, whether that's an opt-in form, whether that's a lead magnet. With you're doing paid advertising, you're trying to get people's attention and you're trying to get their information. That's the first thing that you're selling. I have something worthy enough of you giving me your contact information. Now, from there, you got to email and you got to call people. Now, these are the same skill sets you're going to use in cold outreach and prospecting as well. But the better you can identify in your marketing and your paid advertising of who you want to attract, and then you can speak to their pain points, is you have to call these people, qualify these people. Who is in my ideal customer profile, right? Or ICP, right? Who are they? What are their problems? And why do they need these problems solved? And what is the reason for solving these problems? You can identify the who, what, and why. You can then market to these people. You can have better conversations. You can better portray your value proposition and what you do and your offer. And people are going to give you their information. And then once you get the information, you're going to want to book them on an appointment if they're qualified. And that takes a lot of time. If you're doing content like this is taking time and effort and energy. Now, cold is going to be your most cost effective, but it's going to have a lower percentage of conversion rate. Now, there's only three ways to do cold, right? You can call people, you can email people, or you can message people. And that's going to be on something like Facebook, on IG, or on LinkedIn. So calling is going to have the greatest likelihood of a positive outcome in my experience. Having a real life human to human conversation is going to have the best booking rate. It's going to have the best show up rate, and it's going to have the shortest sales cycle because you have now humanized your business. With email, a lot of it's automated. It's so, I hate that we're using the word saturated, but everyone gets cold emails. I get 10 to 15 cold emails a day. So if you actually pick up the phone and cold call me, and I don't ever get cold called, which is crazy because all I talk about is cold calling. I teach people how to cold call. I don't get cold called. I'm surprised you guys don't try to cold call me and pitch me. I'm super open to cold calls. It takes skill, and I respect the grind. Setting up a cold email sequence and hitting send is low effort, in my opinion. Picking up the phone and calling somebody is respectable. It differentiates a good salesperson versus a bad salesperson. You actually have have skill, you have balls. Now, messaging is also going to bear fruit. It's going to be in between. I think messaging has a higher percentage of conversion versus email because you're messaging people directly on social media. You can have a lot more context and information. Now, all of these work. Warm works, cold works. You just have to put enough time and energy into it and actually enough skill. Now, the big thing with cold is going to be your data. Calling is going to require the highest quality data. Now, for something like that, you're going to want to use like a Zoom Info, or hopefully you work for a company that pays for Zoom Info, Cognizant, or ListKit. All of these are going to give you mobile numbers. A lot of people hit me up like, hey Dylan, what's the best way to overcome a gatekeeper? Don't call them. Just remove that variable from cold calling, right? Now, Zoom Info, Cognizant, ListKit are all going to give you mobile numbers. That is the gold standard for cold calling. If you can call someone's direct phone number and have a direct conversation with the direct person that you want to speak with, you're going to increase your likelihood of a positive outcome like tenfold. Now with email, you can get away with a little bit of cheaper stuff. So ListKit still there, and then something like an Apollo. They're good for emails. LinkedIn is going to be on Apollo or ListKit as well, right? So you can message people on LinkedIn. Now, if you're getting terrible results cold calling, look at your connection percentage. Are you actually talking to enough people for that to bear fruit and to be a good use of your time? Now, this has made me hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is what I call the watering hole strategy. Think about it from like the Serengeti. All the animals congregate at a watering hole because there's not a lot of water. So all these little dots here are your ideal customers. So what you're going to want to do, and it's much easier than you building your own watering hole and doing cold outbound to these people, and you're just yelling at people, hey, come to my watering hole. I have really good water. This is the purest water. It's not dirty like that watering hole. People are like, well, yeah, maybe, but I still have to travel all the way over here. I got to trust that you're telling me the truth. Now, what is a way better example of this? Find somebody who's already spent years, decades, building up their watering hole. And what do I mean by that? That's an audience. So let's just say for my coaching offer, I teach people the art of sales. So what's somebody who owns my audience? Jeremy Miner, really good content creator, spends a bunch of money on ads, a bunch of money on his YouTube channel. But what I do, or what I implore you to do, is find somebody who's already building an audience that you would love to own. Now from there, I'm going to go on like Jeremy Miner. I'm going to see who follows Jeremy. I'm going to see who Jeremy follows. I'm going to look into his likes, into his comments on Instagram or LinkedIn. And I'm going to find people that engage with content that makes relevant sense to what I sell. So if Jeremy has a post about cold call scripts or cold call openers, I'm going to actually go to see who commented, and it's not a bot. And I'm going to reach out to him like, hey, name, I saw that you commented on Jeremy Miner's post about increasing your cold call opener percentages. Just curious, how's that going for you? How many cold calls do you make? Are you currently seeing success with cold calling? It shows that you're a real person, that you have a half of a brain, and you came to a conclusion that this person might be interested in the thing that you're selling. And I'm now messaging you a relevant, personalized message that is relevant to you and what we offer. And you're starting more conversations. This strategy right here, especially on LinkedIn, has made me lots of money, booked me lots of qualified deals. I book calls with companies like Gong, like SAP, through this tactic. Real people are engaging with other people's content, and you can piggyback off of that. We talked a little bit about beginner versus veteran salespeople and what really differentiates them, but there are actually a couple more things that really make the difference between the top 1% of earners and the rest of the 99%. And that is going to be mastering sales conversations, whether these are cold calls, whether these are emails, whether these are discovery calls or demo calls. These three core skills are going to help you master talking to your prospects. The whole thing is to talk to more people and sell your thing and have more opportunities. The person who receives 3 pitches across the plate versus the person who has 100 pitches across the plate, which one's going to hit more home runs? It's just simple. You have more at-bats, you hit more home runs. The more people that are on your calendar, the more people you pitch, the better you get at pitching. The more information you retain, the better you become, the better your conversations become, the better your marketing becomes, the better your pitching, the better your question asking. Everything increases, right? So the biggest thing that I can stress in sales that has helped attribute to millions and millions of dollars of sales and commissions in my pocket is the art of listening. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Why is that? Because you're supposed to be listening 2 times more than you're supposed to be talking. Now, I'd highly recommend using like Fathom or Fireflies or Gong, whatever it is, to analyze your talk time when you're on Zoom calls. But your talk time should be significantly less, like 30 to 40% of the prospect's talk time. How do you do that? And that is going to be by listening. And you want to do active listening. You're not just sitting there like, yeah. That's crazy. Okay, cool. Now you shut the hell up. Now I get to talk about me. Don't do that. So active listening is going to be one of the biggest skill sets that you can learn in sales, in every aspect of sales, in every situation and scenario. Active listening, what does that mean? It's not waiting for your turn to talk, and it's asking engaging questions. So a lot of people structure their sales calls like this. Hey man, where are you based out of? I'm based out of Florida. Wow man, how's the weather down there? How's the Buccaneers? Nice, dude. So just curious, I did some look on your website. What are you guys doing revenue-wise per month? Okay. What's like your ideal customer profiles, and what's your lifetime value of a client? Oh, okay, cool. Now, just curious, do you guys use a CRM to track your outreach? Nice. Do you have someone that runs that CRM for you? Oh, you don't? Okay, cool. So we're one of the Inc. 5000 fastest growing companies. We've helped companies like blank and Y and Z see an X% increase utilizing our CRM automation technology. You don't even know what they care about. You're just checking boxes to make yourself feel good so you can get to the pitch, which is talking about yourself, which is self-serving. People do not give a about you. They don't give a shit about your business. They don't give a shit about your testimonials. They don't care about your rewards or your accolades. They care what can you do for them. They're only on the call to hear about how you can improve their business, improve their life, help them make more money, help them save more time. And the only way you do that with active listening. So let's just say you build rapport and you ask a question. Here's question one. Let's just go back to that. What CRM are you using? Great. We use Go High Level. Awesome, man. How long have you been using that? We've been using it for about, 6 months. Oh, nice. That's not too long. What'd you guys migrate from? We were using Google Sheets before and it wasn't really good. So we watched a YouTube video and someone said Go High Level. So we got Go High Level. Oh, nice. How built out is your Go High Level, right? Do you have like automated nurture sequences? Do you have text? Do you have email? Do you do your phone calls through there? Like your pipelines, tracking all that? Yeah, kinda. We kind of don't even know that. Oh, do you use like their funnel functionality? Is your website, do you have their chatbot and their thing? Like I'm asking the next logical question. So I'm actively listening. This is a piece of information. My next question. Next piece of information. My next question. And I'm currently creating a string of questions that's getting me to the root cause, the pain, not just some surface level pain. What if I was able to identify that they're currently having a lot of leads slip through the cracks because they're currently not tagging things, putting it into a pipeline, and they don't have any automated sequences to re-engage old leads. So essentially they're spending, let's say 10K a month on advertising, and they're only following up with the hottest leads, and about 70% of their leads are going into the abyss. What is the average lifetime value of a client? Oh, it's $10,000. Okay, well, if we converted 5% of the 70% that you're not converting today, and you multiply that by $10,000, this is how much money we could help you gain and or stop wasting. I would have never gotten that deep to understand their business pain point if I just was like, yeah, okay, next question. Okay, next question. Cool, I get the pitch. And now I get to pitch things way more deeply because I know their actual problem. And the only way you identify problem is through active listening. The next thing that everyone wants to talk about is objections. The best way to overcome objections is the same way you overcome a gatekeeper. You just remove that variable in the sales process. So an objection is a question left unanswered. You did not do something earlier in the sales process or in the sales call to answer 100% of their question. What's a really good way to not have objections is to ask them, what questions do you have? Just ask the people. Oh, I have this question. You answer that question. What other questions do you have? Let's just say I'm at a party and I'm talking to somebody and I don't have really good vibes with them. It's really not that big of a deal. I can just kind of walk away. But if I find out later on that that person is driving all of us home, I'm now like, whoa, this guy's been drinking. He's kind of crazy. I don't really like his energy. I don't want to get in that car because now it's becoming serious. So my question about that guy's character didn't really matter earlier in the night. But now that I realize that I have to do something with that person, I'm apprehensive to it because maybe I didn't ask him a good question or I get to learn about the person. Maybe that's just who he is, right? So when you talk about your pitch and you talk about your price and you ask them to give you money, the questions that you left unanswered are now way more serious and way more of a block to you closing this deal. The best way is to just exhaust all your questions and do good active listening to get all the information. Now, if you actively listen and you don't have any objections and you truly understand the person and their business, the super important thing here, right, is your pitch. Your pitch should be a direct solution to a problem. Problem 1, solution 1. Problem 2, solution 2. Problem 3, solution 3. You're tying these together. They go both ways. You only understand the more pain points you understand that correlate. Getting pain points, like asking a guy about his marriage when you don't sell marriage stuff, is useless. So only ask questions that are relevant to how you help businesses. If I know about this guy's CRM, I know he's spending money on ads, I know leads are slipping through the cracks, my solution is, oh, well, we can help build your CRM and automations, right? You don't even need to worry about leads slipping through the cracks because there's nurture sequences, right? If you just converted 1%, it attributes to blank. Now, section 2 is we're also going to get you a setter to call all of your leads, increase your conversion rate, increase your booking rate, increase your efficacy and your return on ad spend. And then from there, we're also going to get you a closer because you said that you're the one that's leading all the sales calls and that's stopping you from playing golf once a week, which is really what you love. And you can't actually work on your business, you're in your business. So that's the solutions. They're tied directly to the pain, which I uncovered through my listening skills and asking good questions and not having objections. And then when you go for the close, which we're going to talk about in a second here, you tie the knot. You bundle up all these problems and all these solutions that you have, you wrap it into a big bow and you explain very simply, very concisely, I'm going to help you achieve these things that are going to alleviate these problems. The business or personal implications of these problems staying as a problem costs you X. It's only going to cost Y to solve this big glaring problem. If you think about it, like, all right, you have $10,000 for this thing? No. Okay, my daughter's sick. Do you have $10,000 to heal her? Absolutely. You're going to do whatever it takes because that's a massive problem that you don't care. You just need it solved, right? How do we create that type of dynamic in the sales process? It's really understanding the business, asking good questions, listening, not having objections, and tailoring the pitch directly to what that person cares about. Now, remember, you're not in the business of selling something to people, right? You're in the business of helping people. And closing is where people tend to put the most focus on in sales, and it's what everyone wants to do because that's where the actual money is. But it's actually easier than the rest of the process because if you did everything so far in this video, you have a correct mindset, positive attitude, you're doing more activities, you're being more intelligent about what you do, and you have a better positive outlook, you're prospecting, you're getting good qualified people on the calendar, you're listening to their problems, you're understanding their business, and you're pitching it correctly, closing should just come second nature. It should be the shortest part of your sales call. Everyone puts so much time and energy into closing. Like, what's this closing tactic? And what's this closing tactic? And I'm going to do this and do that. Well, if you just did everything else right, closing's simple. Now, my favorite type of sale is the assumptive sale. You just assume they're going to close with just utter confidence because you know that you solve all their problems. So why the hell wouldn't they work with you? You start speaking in the future tense of them already a client. So when we work together, this is what it looks like when we are a client. So what we're going to do here is this: get them excited, have them thinking in the future tense that they're already going to be your client. The next part is going to be silence. So a lot of people overdo the silence thing. Oh, you drop price and you never talk again. The first person that talks loses. No. A good part with silence is think about it like cooking a steak. You don't just immediately start cooking the steak. You have to let it rest, right? And you usually have to let it rest for like 5 to 7 minutes. Why do you need to let it rest? So if you think of this as the steak, this is hot and this is hot, right? This is the internal. You have to let it rest so the outside heat seeps into the middle of the steak and gets it to that beautiful medium rare. Now, when you drop the pitch and the price, you have to allow the prospect time for it to marinate. Okay, well, they did this, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. They really understand my needs. They're going to help me, add an extra $50,000 in revenue a month. And it's only really going to charge me $18,000 to add $50,000 in revenue. I'm willing to make that trade. Okay. Maybe I got one more question. That's what they're doing in their head. A lot of people say the price. All right, John. So for the next 6 months, we're going to solve this, this, and this. And you can see this result. Now for that, it's $18,000. Clients usually pay upfront. There's an upfront discount of $15,000. How does that sound? Or are you ready to get started? And just shut up. A lot of people, there's a little bit of awkward silence and they nervously fill that awkward silence because they're not confident. And they're like, oh yeah, we also have this risk reversal guarantee and all these little things. And they don't allow the prospect to actually think and come to a buying decision. You actually get the buyer to close themselves. Let's just say that you're selling a big ticket item or you're not selling it to the right person yet, right? They have a business partner, they have a wife, whatever. Probably 80% of the millions of dollars I've closed literally is follow-up. Follow-up is an extension of the sales call. You're always selling. You're always following up. Now, do not do this. Just wanted to bump this. Any thoughts? You just spent years perfecting a skill, getting somebody on the calendar with your time, energy, and effort or money. You have a conversation. You understand about their business. You understand all their problems. You get them the pitch. You go for the close. You give them the price. They say they have this thing that's stopping them from making this decision. Sometimes it's a relevant thing. A lot of people are like, oh, you got to overcome everything. Like, no, you don't. Make sure when you end the call, you have defined next steps, right? Whether that's a set follow-up call on the calendar or you know exactly what the timeline is. Oh, I got to talk to my business partner. Great, John. Totally understand that. And honestly, I respect that. I wouldn't want you to make a decision without the team's buy-in. How does your business partner, what's his name? John. So how does John really make decisions? What does he like to look at? Is he more of like an analytical thinker? Is he more of like a social proof type person? Like, what can I do to provide you the information to have an intelligent conversation with John? Oh, okay, great. I'm going to shoot over that exact stuff. I'm also going to include the call recording. And then when do you guys normally meet and talk about things like this? Oh, on Thursday? Great. What's your Friday afternoon like? Would love to schedule a follow-up after you had a chance to talk to John. I'd also love to have John on the call. You're not the middleman, right? Do you have his calendar by chance? Can you see his availability? Like, that's how you do it. You project manage and you actually overcome and make this feel like an easy thing. Oh, I'm not going to have to remember everything. Oh, I'm not going to have this conversation. This guy's going to be in my corner and help me get this because I actually want this. I have to sell John on this. So when you follow up on that Friday morning, hey, prospect, I know you had a call with John yesterday. Did you have a chance to discuss that? I want to make sure that we're all prepared and ready to go for our call today. The agenda for today's call is this, this, and this. Looking forward to speaking with you. Like, that's what you should send on Friday morning. Like, relevant follow-up. And if it's something that's longer term, go back to your call notes, which should be in your CRM, and see what was the main pain points and dig those pains back up in your follow-up. Also, the best follow-up strategy is to just call the person. So many people are just afraid and timid, and they just send email after email after email after email. No, he didn't get back to me. I'm going to send a detective emoji. Just pick up the phone and call a person, right? If someone emails you like, hey man, we're going to wait off for a couple of months, call them. Hey John, just got your email. A little surprised to hear that, especially based off of blank, blank, and blank pain point. Is that no longer a problem in your business since our last conversation? No. Got it. So I can definitely follow up in a month, but you said that you guys generate X number of leads per day. You're converting only this percentage. I can guarantee you that we're going to increase the conversion rate with this. So by the time that we would talk next, you could actually have realized blank number of revenue, which would cover our service and more than that. Just call the person and have a real conversation so you can dictate the outcome. You're creating win-win scenarios. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about, and it's arguably the most important thing you can do in your sales or business career, is to never stop learning. Now, I've struggled with this in the past. I've been in sales for over a decade. I've closed millions of dollars in sales. I've done everything under the sun. I've had great success, super blessed and grateful. It's easy to drink your own Kool-Aid. I know what I'm doing. I have a great close percentage. I have great clients. I have great testimonials. But if you're not always looking at what you do and listening to it or seeking feedback or advice, you're never going to improve and really reach your maximum potential. You're just going to stay where you're at. Maybe you like where you're at, but there's always another level. A really good example is paying for mentorship, getting into bigger masterminds, getting into bigger rooms where people make what you make in a year, in a week, in a month, in a quarter. Good example. So I joined Myron Golden's high ticket coaching program. I spent $55,000 on this coaching program. Biggest purchase I've ever made in my entire life. Now, the reason why I joined that is because I have a 2 Comma Club award here from ClickFunnels, right? You made $1 million in a year off of a single funnel. It's a big accomplishment. I'm not saying it's not. There's people in this program that have made $1 million in a single day using their frameworks and their strategies. They condense what I did in a year into a day. That is levels. I need to know that. There's something that I don't know that is blocking me from insane amounts of revenue and growth. Now, I know that sales is not evil. I know that money is not evil. Why would I not want to continually learn and grow and become more educated and become more of a weapon without reading books and talking to people and seeking feedback? If you're early on in sales or even advanced in sales, you should be listening to your calls. You should be auditing yourself. You should be still tracking your metrics. Don't leave anything to chance, and don't forget what got you here. It matters. Don't forget the basics. Don't stop prospecting. Don't stop cold calling. Don't stop pitching people correctly just because you've reached a certain level of success, guys. Because I guarantee you, if you never stop learning and you never give up, you're going to become an absolute weapon in sales and in business. Now, earlier in the video, I mentioned cold calling, and I talked a little about how well it served me in sales. And I would actually go as far as to say it's the #1 skill salespeople and business owners need to learn, and that it's literally the best way to tell a good versus a bad salesperson or business person. Now, a week ago, I recorded a cold call that led to an $18,000 deal. So if you want to watch how I picked picked up the phone, called the prospect, had a conversation, booked an appointment, ran a demo, and closed the deal. Click somewhere on the screen if you want to go and check that out and actually see how a professional with over 10,000 hours of experience does it. Now, as always, I hope that you found this video insanely valuable. You took really good notes. Go back, listen to these things, implement them. If you found it valuable, I would love if you hit like, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.